Okay, guys, hello. Special guest in the building.
Yay!
All right, the Freedom Framework. Let's post this pin comment. Boom. Wonderful.
Great.
Welcome on this wonderful Thursday.
Hey guys.
So we have Emily De La Cruz here, and we are going to be going over our Freedom Framework that we do in the F28 agency, and basically we're going to be talking about how you automate your follow-up. So many people think that we're just talking about funnels, but really want you to understand, if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, what this looks like when you automate your entire sales process and how this can provide freedom for you, for your family, for your finances, for your time, so that you can do other things. So do you want to start?
Sure.
Awesome.
Well, first I want to kind of like talk about why freedom is so important.
Yes.
And I think I had to learn it the hard way, because people think like, oh, well, when I become a business owner, I'm going to own my time and it's going to be so great and it's going to be so fabulous. But really, you end up working 10 times harder than you do when you have a job. So
20 times harder.
Literally. So the Freedom Framework is really birthed out of the fact that we see so many entrepreneurs that have successful, thriving businesses, but they're burnt out because they don't have any systems in place, because they're manually sending invoices, because they're manually doing their marketing. So we want to talk about how you can eliminate manual parts of your business so that you can actually have, the freedom that you desire and want.
Yeah. And it's not just manual tasks. It's anything that is labor intensive, anything that takes up a lot of your time, anything that's repetitive. So repetitive, manual, and labor intensive tasks. It could be something as simple as, oh my gosh, every person that comes to me for this particular service wants to know how much my packages are. Or the person that built my built-ins, every person wants to know how much does it cost for built-ins, right? But you probably already have a price list in your head or whatever. So it could be repetitive, manual, or just annoying tasks. We also deal with a lot of clients that don't even know certain parts of their businesses can be automated. Certain things that you're doing, you can completely remove yourself from that process. So that's what we are here to talk about today. And once you have that freedom of time, you can have those ideas, you can go write the book, you can start the other business, you can travel, you can do whatever that you got into business to do in the first place. So the first one that we're going to talk about is automating your
follow-up. So this is my favorite thing to automate, because people really believe that they have to, sit there and like manually send emails like, hey, just checking in, just following up, hunting people down to pay your invoice, hunting people down to get on the consultation call, hunting people down. Nobody has time for that. Like, I don't have any kids, but I feel like the only people that I need to be hunting down and stalking are my children, and I don't have any, so I'm not going to do it with grown people, right? And as a business owner, we spend so much time like trying to get paid that it really takes away from other parts of your business. So in order to automate your follow-up, you want to think about, what sequences, what processes, what emails, messages do I have in place that I'm constantly repeating that I can just automate into what's called a sales funnel or an email sequence, right? If you're always answering the same 5 questions, how much does it cost? How does this work? When can I get started? What's the process to get started?
Who have you done this for? What have their results been? Testimonials, right?
Right. You can put all that into an email sequence. If your goal is, okay, I need to get people on the phone, instead of continuing to follow up, hey, I need, to get on your calendar. Here are the dates that I'm available. Hey, I want to chat. Hey, just put a link on your website and let people automatically book you with something like Calendly, right? Or Acuity. So there's so many things that, we manually do and we manually put on our to-do list that technology could be handling for us. Technology could be sending follow-up emails. Technology could be booking people. Technology could be getting people on our calendar. Facebook ads could be reminding people that your program is closing, right? So for my program, First Funnel Accelerator, that I launched earlier this month, I was not about to sit on Instagram every single day going live to remind people about my expertise or remind people that the doors were closing. I just ran Facebook ads, right? So I can live my life and I don't have to be posting every single day because my follow-up system is automated. I have automated emails, I have automated messages, and that's what you need to think about what are the things that I'm constantly having to do
creating
to follow
content,
up.
creating videos, like even before you get the lead, before you get an interested person that you need to follow up or follow through with. Yeah, sorry, it just started pouring per usual. But before you do that, right, what are the things that you're doing all the time to get your customers, right? So we help you automate how you're getting your leads, how you're getting booked and paid, right? Whether it's a call, whether it's whatever your booking process is, and then automate the payment, portion. You shouldn't have to hunt someone down for invoices. There are automatic subscriptions and payments. If someone has to pay you a deposit and then the rest is due upon completion, we set that up for you. What's the completion date? What's the install date? Great. You don't have to call them and ask them for that. So did I just completely skip ahead of all of them?
No, I think, yeah, we talked about getting booked, getting paid. I think the other mistake that we see a lot of entrepreneurs doing is just not having a system in general, right? So my favorite entrepreneur is the one that's stressed out because they trapping out the DMs. Like, DM me to book, DM me your email, leave your email in the comments so I can send you a PayPal invoice. Like, girl, it's 2019. Like, why are you manually copying and pasting emails from Instagram to manually send an invoice,
Right.
So it's people
you have
that.
to think about this. One of the last times that I went, I don't know if I was getting my makeup done. I was getting something done. It wasn't makeup because I have her number. It was somebody. Oh, I know exactly what it was. I'm not going to say what it was. I don't want to put this person out there. I was getting something new done with someone, and we had only been communicating via DM. And the day that I was supposed to be meeting him was the day that Instagram shut down. And I was like, looking back at even my emails with him, there was no address, right, in the calendar, like in the appointment booking that we had with him. And there was nothing in our DMs. And I did not have his phone number. He was not answering the email that I had for him. And you can't expect to do real business out of your direct messages. If DMs and Instagram is working for you, that's fine. But there should be some type of capture information that moves them to a platform that you own so that you can actually communicate with people. Like, I literally I would have missed that appointment that day if he hadn't have eventually responded to my email, because I did not have the address. I didn't have any information because everything was just super informal through the DM, right? So you cannot trap out the DM and expect to make income, right? Like, what if, I'm just going to say something crazy and it wasn't. What if that was a $5,000 service, right? What if that was how he was planning on paying his mortgage and his car note that month, but you missed that client because Instagram shut down? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs overcomplicate. Like, I see people with boutiques that like will post an item and be like, if you want this, comment your email and your size below and I'll send you a manual invoice. And it's like, girl, who has time for that? You're going to spend hours doing that when you can just have a website, So that's like one of the biggest things that I've seen lately, that doesn't allow people to have freedom, because it's like, okay, great, I'm going to start a boutique, but now you're spending 2-3 hours a day manually sending invoices when you could be spending that time, doing something else.
Right.
And then I think the other thing is just learning how to automate your general sales system. So after you get a sale, also part of freedom is being able to always have recurring, consistent, predictable revenue. And a lot of people don't have recurring, consistent, predictable revenue. You have revenue that goes up and down, right? You have revenue that's one-off, it's not recurring, and you have revenue that isn't predictable, because since you don't have a system in place, you can't really gauge like how much money you're going to make next month or 2 months from now, because you're so focused on sending invoices or manually hunting people down to get them to pay you today, that you can't even think about what's going on tomorrow, right? So really understanding how to build systems, to get referrals. Like, do you have an automated email to ask for testimonials once you're done with your clients, or, once you're done with providing the product, right? Do you have some sort of way to get returning customers? If you have an e-commerce business, what's your loyalty program? Okay, they bought one time. How are you going to get them back to buy again? I bought something from Forever 21 a couple of weeks ago for Memorial Day. They've been in my inbox 500 times since then, with 5 million sales, because they wanted to be a returning customer, a repeat customer. And as small businesses, we need to think like big businesses, right? There's not somebody who's sitting there at Forever 21 headquarters every day like, what promotion are we going to do today? Right. They plan those out in advance, they design them in advance, and they schedule them out in advance. So if Fallon shops on May 30th and I shop on June 2nd, we're getting the same series of emails, just at different points in time based on when we shop. So there's a lot that goes into, I think, freedom, time freedom, but the main thing is really planning ahead and thinking about what are the actions that I do in my business every day that technology can take care of.
Absolutely.
And I think, we get so caught up in doing the manual things that we don't even think
We
about
don't
taking a step back to automate those things and to, give ourselves the time and the energy that we need to really grow our businesses, because we're too busy putting in our time and energy to just sustain the business that we can't even think about growing.
Scratching and surviving and doing the minimum that's required to keep your business afloat instead of doing what's required so that you can actually grow and scale your business. Some people want to scale and then sell, their business. Like, you should be able to, if you have a profitable operation, go and sell your business for $1 million. Go and sell your business for 10 million. Like, that's the move, go and start the next thing, go and invest in something else. But you can't ever think about that if you're bogged down in the back office administrative tasks that you're doing every day. So it's definitely more than an email funnel. It's really automating your entire sales process from start to finish, so that you can experience freedom, so that you can grow your business, so you can spend time with family or brunch or go to the movies and not be on your phone, or so you're not in your DMs or looking under all your old posts trying to find someone's email. It's 2019. It's basically 2020. We want to make sure that, your businesses are structured and that your infrastructure is in place to be able to handle growth. The other thing I will mention super quickly is you want to, even if you're like, oh, I don't need that, I'm a really small business, you cannot become a big business. Like, small businesses become big businesses when their infrastructure is in place. Okay, so that's what we want to help you do. Even if you don't have a dream to become a big business, if you get put on the news tomorrow, if one client sends your stuff to Beyonce or Ellen or whoever, right, and you're used to getting maybe 5 inquiries a day, your system needs to be strong enough to handle 500, 5,000, or 5 million people coming to you, your website, your Instagram, or whatever, and you need to be able to give all of those people the exact same information about what it is that you do. Give all those people the exact same access to book you, all those people the exact same access to give you a deposit, right? If you had to go and send 500 people a message that wanted to pay you in the same day with a deposit, there should automatically be a link that's automatically hooked up to your non-commingled funds, okay? Your separate business bank account, your separate business PayPal and Stripe. And that's what really automating your whole system will do for you. It prepares you for the possible blow up, right? Like, you need to be prepared whenever that opportunity finally strikes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people think, oh, well, the way that I become a big business is by hiring people. And I can't think of the name of the book. Oh, but I can't think. Let me try to Google it real quick.
Okay.
But there's a book that he basically talks about being like the new big business is being a solo business. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
That's so good.
His name's like Jason.
We have some myths that we're going to be talking about later. But in a separate video and some separate posts, but people thinking that you have to, right? In order for me to grow, I have to hire someone to do these tasks, right? Half the tasks that we're talking about, the whole point is for you to fire yourself or to fire your assistant from doing those tasks. Not because they're not going to get done. They're going to get done by a system. They're going to get done by something that has no human error in it, where you can still, obviously customize it and do whatever you need to do.
Okay,
is that it?
So there's two. It's called Think Big, Act Small. How America's best performing companies keep startup spirit alive. So that one's really, really good. And it basically talks about how, like, as you grow, you have to stay nimble and be like innovative. And then the other one is The $1 Million One Person Business.
The $1 Million One Person Business and Think Big, Act Small.
Yeah, so those two books are really, really good, because I definitely fell into that trap that I was like, I'm going to have an agency and I'm going to have all these people and stuff like that. And let me tell you something, when that payroll hits every month, I be stressed out.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm just like, why did I do this, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes people forget that you can have a big multi-million-dollar business and not have, 52 customer service reps, 108 social media managers. Like, you can really set up a lean system that allows you to take 80% of your money and keep it as profit and not have it in expenses. Like, one good person to look at is Danielle Leslie. Danielle Leslie has a multi-million-dollar course empire, and I think she has two people, a part-time customer service person and then like a full-time like community manager, course manager type of person. And she grew into that over time. But had she not had systems in place, hiring would have been a hot mess, because now you're trying to manually teach people an uncohesive system, an uncoordinated system. So you're like, well, this is kind of how I do it, and here are all my notes, and this is kind of, there's no way to like onboard and bring people on if you don't have a process to add people to, you know.
And I think that's good. Like we said this was gonna be a 3-minute video, but you know, we're giving you all the tea today. But that's something that, you know, we make sure that people understand. I know we're telling you guys, make sure you understand, like, what's your process? Think about all the manual things you do. But that's one of the first things that is the first thing that I do with my clients. You answer a series of questions that help you identify that, in case your brain doesn't work that way, so that you can figure it out. Once you figure it out, then we can visually map it. If you go back and look at some of my stories, you'll be able to see that, you know, how we visually map what your process is. You can't bring on anybody and hire them if you don't tell them what the process is. McDonald's has everything mapped out. They can go drop an 80-year-old or a 16-year-old into any part of their operation because the systems are already in place. This is how you work this fry machine. This is what we do when someone comes to drive through. This is what we do. This is how we close up the office. This is how often we clean the bathrooms. If you have not identified that, first of all, then we can't go through and identify, you got 48 pieces of your process and these 28 can be completely automated, right? Or these 28, these 12, you may need someone to hire, you know, later, but you have to identify that first, or hire somebody to help you identify that, written out visually, all that kind of stuff. Develop the standard operating procedures around it so you can operate like a business and piece out on any portion of that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing.
Right, exactly. So I think what you guys want to take away or remember is, like, in order for you to have freedom, you need to figure out what manual parts of your business are sucking up your time, right? Because we all want more time. Whether we want more time to do other things, grow other businesses, invest in real estate, whatever, or we want more time to vacation and chill and relax, time is the biggest asset that we have. I can throw money at my problems all day. I can't make my 24-hour day any longer, right? So you want to sit down and think about, what are all of the processes in my business? What are all of the moving pieces in my business? How do I get customers? How do I invoice my clients? How do I book them? How do I get paid? How do I get referrals? If you don't have, you know, a system in that particular area. And then from there, you want to really think about, okay, how can I start to automate this? How can I start to remove myself physically out of these processes, eliminate the manual part of it, and have technology help me accomplish that? If I'm manually sending invoices, then what I need is a website that will have a payment processor. So you don't need to go through me to pay me. You just go on the website and you pay me. Whether you want to pay me at 2 o'clock in the morning or at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whether I'm on a plane or in Atlanta, it doesn't matter, right? If I have to manually, you know, go live every single day to get clients, then maybe I need to record a YouTube video and run ads to it, right? Or maybe I need to record a YouTube video and promote it on other people's blogs, or maybe I need to get on a podcast. But you need to figure out, how can I take what I do and sucks up my time every single day and automate it in a way that doesn't require you to be present, because you cannot scale a business that requires you to be present every single day. You can't build a legacy with the business that requires you to be present every single day, because guess what? I could be a coach and I could be the best coach, but when I die, the coaching dies with me, right? The coaching gets buried with me because I don't have anybody who can replace me in that part of the business.
Go look up key man risk. That's exactly what that is. Businesses literally take out full insurance policies on key men, key stakeholders, and people that basically make the business what it is. Even if you're the juice, you're the sauce, you want to still have systems in place that it can live on without you. So if you don't take the time to do this, no matter what you build and how hard you built it, it's going to stop with you. And you're doing the rest of the world a disservice by not getting your systems in place so that you can still offer whatever it is that you have, your product or service, beyond it just being you.
Right. And also consider and understand the difference between being self-employed and being a business owner. And Robert Kiyosaki does this in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He has what's called the cashflow quadrant. And the cashflow quadrant basically breaks down like how people make money. You either make money as an employee, you exchange your time for money working for somebody else. You're self-employed, where you still exchange your time for money, but you just work for yourself. You are a business owner, where you have your systems work for you, right, and you make money. Or you're an investor and you have your money work for you, right? So those are your 4 options. You can either have your money work, you can have your systems work, you can work for yourself, or you can work for somebody else. And so many people are stuck on the left side of money, right? Where they're stuck either working for somebody else or working for themselves. But at the end of the day, what you own is a job. And guess what? When you die, your job.
First of all, we back?
Oh, we're back.
Cash flow quadrant. Which one are you?
Okay, so you're either on the left side of money, where you have a job and your job dies with you. Whether you own your job or your employer owns your job, it's a job, right? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being self-employed. However, if you want to extend your legacy, then you want to move to what they call the right side of money, which is having a business with systems that allows you to not have to be physically present, or making your money work for you. Here's an example. Me as a business owner, if I have an agency, right, and I have other people that are working for me, if I have a boutique and I have Shopify and it's electronically, well connected, it's running or whatever. If I get sick, if I go to, God forbid, go to the hospital, if I disappear for a month, there are things that are in place that allows the business to run without me, right? Now, you can replace me the same way that my job would. You can replace me and put somebody else to source the clothes or post on social media or do whatever, but the actual operations of the business run with or without me, right? Or you can be an investor where, okay, I took $20,000, put it down on a house, and now I rent out the house. So as long as there are people living in that house, whether I'm sick, sleep, or dead, I'm still going to get that rent money every single day, because the initial money that I invested is now working for me in my asset, right? So literally, you can only build a legacy off of things that operate without you. Because once you're gone, your kids, your family, your spouse, whoever cannot take your job. They can't show up to your company and be like, hey, I want my wife's job, I want my mom's job. They can't show up to the barbershop unless they have the skill set and start cutting hair or doing hair or whatever it is, be the accountant, be the CPA. So you have to think about freedom is much more than just time and money. It's also about legacy as well. And we tend to overlook it because I guess, on Instagram, everybody's so caught up in how much money you can make now and the freelancer, side hustle economy. And I get that we're in a gig economy and that's great, but guess what? When you die, your kid cannot continue to drive Uber for you on your behalf. They cannot continue to live for you on your behalf. You can continue to Airbnb that you can hand down, right? Because it's an asset, but we really have to think about how we're making money. And if we disappeared and died off today, would it still keep running? Right? And that's something that I really had to do in my business. Like, I hate having employees and I hate paying salaries, and I wish that I could be like a one-woman show. But guess what? If I get sick, I know that my project manager is going to be communicating with my clients. I know that she knows how to delegate to our graphic designer. I know that we have our invoicing in place, so we'll never miss a payment, right? Like the system is still going to continue without me, even though I oversee it, right? Even though I'm the founder and I oversee the system, I don't have to worry about, I can't, go on vacation and not have service for 2 days because my business is going to fall apart.
Exactly. And you can basically assess where you are and whether or not, you would need us to help you, whether or not you need to implement this freedom framework, really by just saying, am I going to a job every day and I do have a side hustle that, I would like to become my main hustle, or I wanted to stay my side hustle and run office systems. Oh my gosh, I met the most amazing person the other day, and she loves her job, has stayed at her job, and the reason that they were able to do that is because that they had other systems in place. And so now the spouse is in a position to do the exact opposite, right? Because the systems were in place. So now they can go to school and do that and start their business because of that. So I think a lot of times we think that we want to have systems too, to have freedom to get away from our job. There are people that really like their job, but they want to have a whole nother revenue stream coming in they don't have to be tied to, so they can actually be at their job. So you want to think about, those things as well. You can really identify easily where you are, and if you need help with the freedom framework, if you cannot disappear tomorrow off the face of the earth, and you still not get money from whatever you've created.
Right. And that's a good point. You can approach it from making a list of here are all the manual tasks that I do, or from the perspective of, if I disappear tomorrow, so I always like think about this. If my hands fell off tomorrow and I couldn't type,
if I could not speak to my clients and close them,
right? If I didn't have Wi-Fi for a week, if I had no access to Wi-Fi for a week, if I didn't have access to my computer for a week, right? Where would I drop the ball? Like, what things would go undone? Right? And once you make that long list of like, oh my God, emails wouldn't get answered. Oh my gosh, I couldn't type. I couldn't text. I couldn't do that. You start to be like, oh shoot, like my business is so reliant on me, And then God forbid, like at my job, I have short-term disability. So I know if I get sick, I can be gone for a couple of weeks and still get my paycheck. In my business, if I get sick, if I'm gone for a couple of weeks, the money stops coming too. So that's why systems became so important, because I really needed to find a way to be able to live my life without the risk of the money stopping,
not being there because I wasn't there.
Because the bills don't stop. I can't call and be like, hey, I don't have Wi-Fi. I'm sick. I lost my voice. I'm going to need y'all to hold off on this AT&T bill. They're going to be like, girl, the bill is still coming. So how
and you were still going to get it cut
cash
off.
or check.
Right. Exactly. I think that hopefully you guys get the point. I think that was probably the best thing that you said. I really like that. I need to go put it on my content sheet and go make a post out of it. Make a list, not just of the manual things that you do. Think about what would you do, what if you didn't have Wi-Fi, if you didn't have your hands, if you didn't have your voice, right? Whatever that thing is that generates income for you, make a list of, if you got sick or were disconnected from everything, what are the pieces, what balls would get dropped in your business? Write that down. You definitely want to also go to F28agency.com and click on that freebie and see which mistakes you're doing. We covered quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Figure out which mistakes you're making. I think there's 6 or 7 of them in that document. And if you know you need help with them, go ahead and book a free consultation with us. Make sure that you can. And even to do that, there's a little form that you fill out to help you identify some of those different things that you may not even thought about yet, different areas that you could be that you're not even dropping the ball on, but you probably are dropping the ball on with following up, with booking, with whatever. We don't want you missing out on money. We don't want you missing out on freedom. At the end of the day, you're here to do more than just live, work, and die. Okay, and pay bills and die. You have an impact that you're supposed to make, and you cannot do it without more money and without more time. You cannot make that impact. So that's what we're here to help you guys do. I will give her whatever last words because she got all the good words today.
Girl, I don't have any. I just want you guys to really think. This is another thing. Onto like the wave. To boil this all down, if you went to jail tomorrow,
that's good.
What would happen to your business? Right? Because at the end of the day, you locked up, ain't no Wi-Fi. You're gonna get one call, right? I need to be able to call Shaquinta like, girl, I'm locked up since they got me. I ain't paying my taxes. I'm up in here.
Right.
Child, I'm being here for 3 months. So this is what we need to do.
Right.
And I need to be able to call somebody or give somebody some logins, and the show needs to continue on without me. So I just really want you guys to think about, what are the worst case scenarios, and what it's really gonna cost you to lose out on all of the things because you couldn't take 5 minutes to think about, what manual things are going on, right? And also think about too, like, how are you generating revenue? Because best believe I'm gonna call Shaquinta like, girl, I'm locked up. Okay, so what we need to do is I'm gonna need you to run these Facebook ads real quick, put $50 on them. We're gonna need $10,000 for my bail. All right, girl. Then you're gonna wire into this account. We gotta have systems. We gotta have systems. Okay,
ready to go.
Shaquinta's actually on here, but yeah, so you want to think about all those things. There's people who make business go round. Technology makes business go round. Processes make business go round. And we have to just stop thinking so singular about we do this one thing. Yeah, you do taxes, you do hair, you sell clothes, whatever. But there's a whole world of things outside of just that one thing that you do that needs to be addressed and focused on if you really, really want freedom.
Yeah, and I think the last thing I'll say, is people think that automation automatically means that there's going to be no personalization, right? I've heard that so much, I don't want to automate my business.
Let me write that down.
Oh, don't worry, I got that one in all the notes, okay? Because I've heard it so much. Oh, I don't want to automate because it's going to take away the personalization of my business. Automation actually allows you to personalize your business more, right? So what if I actually had a client who was missing multiple bookings because she had a Gmail instead of a professional email. So when her Gmail got full, people were trying to book her, and her services start at $3,000. Okay, so and the other ones range up to $7,000. She was missing multiple, like, this is like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 of money that she missed because systems weren't in place, right? And it's like, she wants to have a personal relationship with her clients and talk to each one of them, and that's fine. But the same way you want to talk to them, whether you want them to hear your voice or see a video, like she said, go and record a YouTube video. People think that email funnels and all this stuff, oh, that's so impersonal. Go and find a way where you can still insert yourself, right, into the areas of your business that you want to be personalized. But again, now whether it's 5 people that you want to have a personal, conversation with or whatever, you can have that same intro or conversation with 5,000 people if they all come to your site, right? Because it's still automated. So just don't assume that funnels are bad and I've been caught. I had somebody tell me this week, well, I've been caught in an email funnel. That's the worst. It's not about being caught, right? You shouldn't be caught in a funnel. It's to help you actually bring in more revenue and then save time. And they can still be very personal. She was one that put me on years ago to personalized text messaging, right? Like, so many people don't check emails nowadays. We can automate that. If you like to text your clients and we can literally automate, that portion of your business. So I don't want you guys to think that automation automatically negates personalization. That's false. It is really thundering now.
Okay, it's getting out of hand.
Out of hand.
We finna go.
Okay.
Before we get disconnected out here with this hating service.
Right, because I definitely need to save this, and I'll be mad if it disconnects. So thank y'all for joining. Swipe up. No, swipe up. Go to F28agency.com. Make sure that y'all get that freebie. Really read through it. Identify. Take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes for yourself, for your future, for your legacy, for your freedom, to figure out the things that you would not be able to do if you got locked up tomorrow, and let us know, or comment comment down below what those things are, so that we can help y'all experience freedom ASAP.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.